Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer 3 video we have for today. We have big news, we have info for patch 6.2, the entire notes instead of just like a tease of a few items, we get all the details. Not too much is new, but a lot of things is very nice they're going to preface. For example, the data size is going to be 27% smaller. So hey, for all you who are running out of storage, that's big news. The downside of this big news is that it's going to be a 55 gigabyte download. So I know a lot of you may not have the greatest of internet, and that does suck. I would recommend maybe set a timer in the morning, get it so you can like fall asleep for a couple hours and wake up, get ready to play it. It's going to be tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. BST. That's going to be June 17th, so mark your calendar for 12 hours, whenever you see this video. But yeah, we got some big news and we're going to go over it. We have the magic item rework, which we basically went over in the last video, so we're probably going to skim a little of this since we already know all about it. So we're going to read this though. The magic item system has undergone a major overhaul aiming to unify item design, balance power levels, and reduce inventory clutter. In total, 600 plus ancillaries, all items common, uncommon, and rare, for their effects and rarity adjusted to match our new balancing paradigm. And core changes, like I said, we'd cover this in the last video. It's going to be a uniqueness and a cost matrix. So common will feel common, rare will feel rare, and there will be less items in the game, quotation marks, in your campaign, I mean. But now you're going to have items that are a lot more useful and unique, to where your campaigns are no longer, I'm just going for ward save and that's all I'm going to do. And smarter item management is also a thing. There'll be fewer but more impactful items to reduce UI overload, items tailored to your current collection and playstyle for better variety, and item fusing update. It was not that great before, it's a bit better now. So now you can actually, like, armor fuses to armor, arcane items fuse into arcane items, so no like gambling, getting something very random. But I would say the downside of this, so you're not, I would say, abusing the system, so anything that's rare, so uncommon and common, you can do that all day long, but rare will have unique fusions now possible, but a small chance of risk of failure. And they did preface in the last one that it'll be like scrap, so it'll be just stuff you'll sell, which, hey, it's a bit unique. I would say it's something a bit better as they've done. But yeah, and now we do have this, what they did bring up, what they haven't done. I was a wee bit sad to see this, but you gotta understand, they did a bunch of items, like they said, over 600, very much. So there's the character unique item updates. These follow a somewhat different paradigm and have a much broader pool effects than standard ancillaries. We are likely to need to make adjustments here, as some weaker uniques are likely going to struggle and match up the new top end rares, I mean. But this will be a more case-by-case basis going forward. Whereas possible, we like to focus on these in their fantasy and give them more powerful thematic effects, reducing their current trend of pile of good, but not particularly thematic coherent stat banners. These plans to change following the same paradigm as our approach to standard items in this patch, but couldn't quite make the cutoff to this release. Expect to see those in the near future after some more fine-tuning. So yeah, sadly, all the other items are going to be boosted up, but these items, all the character ones, will not be changed, but for now. Which is nice they're bringing this up. They could have just skimmed over this and not even touched them. But hey, props to them. They're going to look at it and they're going to make them a bit more unique, so you're no longer like picking the chainsword over whatever their weapon would be for that character, because it's very easy to do. Banners, I am very hyped. You can now equip multiple banners in the same type across characters. So you, instead of just having like one unit having just flame swords, I think that means you can have a few more now. I could just be speaking crazy. I don't have the access to the patch just yet, but we'll see tomorrow. And there are new unique items with the Wormslayer Sword, Anti-Large Slayer weapon. I don't know how to say this. Again, let me know in the comments. It's a new shield, reflects charges and magic. Very interesting how that's going to be worded in the description. There's the Accursed Armor, strong defense with a curse. Briar's Heath, stealth-focused armor. The Fell Blade, which this was already in the game, upgraded to unique tier, but powerful but deadly. And what I am extremely hyped about is this last sentence. 8 Burning Books of Khorne, risk/reward chain of ultra-rare magical books with the major gameplay impact. So, like we covered in the last video, it's going to be, so there's 8 books, but it's really 4, because I guess each is 2 volumes, so you're not so cluttered. But it's going to be like an event, to where, I would say, the closest thing I can think of is like a Stellaris event, where you have choices and you can continue to make those choices, or you can just let sleeping dogs lie. More of this, please, CA, and it'll be a godsend. And we have the new units coming up next. So we have the Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers, affordable range siege units for Chaos Dwarves, super hype. Blood Knights, anti-infantry, vampiric cavalry variant with the high sustain. So think of the Knights of the Rose is what I'm thinking of. The Elsbeth DLC, think of them as the same thing. They're anti-infantry, they can stay in the battle, you don't have to worry about charging them. But what makes these guys so good is that they're vampires, so they heal, and on top of that, their faction has a myriad of healing spells. And compression. So this is what I was talking about before. So implemented and applied general comprehension effect, decompression speed for the majority of files and game packages. Game storage size reduced by 27%. That's super big. Especially with mods, this game can eat up all your computer space. Improved loading times when entering battles with reductions ranging from 5 to 42% depending on the battle. Improved loading times when entering the campaign with an average speed movement of 9%. Reorganize game packages to reduce the minimized patching time for future updates. That's super big, which means there'll be more updates because they can take more. They don't need as much time to do it. And here, can modders use compression too? We've given the author of RPFM, Frodo, a heads up on how he can support the new compression method with RPFM. Compressions using the assembly kit is available through such files such as audio files and video files should not be compressed. So hey, they're talking about they already know that mods are big in this game, and it's probably what's been keeping it alive besides the DLC and updates like this. So that's big. Love that they preface this. And the AI changes that we've been begging for, that they're going to slowly been implementing from all the proving grounds. So they added 2 new customizable options: AI strength and threat assessment default on. When checked, campaign difficulty settings are overridden, so the AI factions are always better at assessing threats based on strength, proximity of rivals, in addition to having generally increased hostility towards unknown factions, enabling this setting to equivalent to the setup from CIA Beta 1. So big. So now you can turn it off, of course, but now it's going to be on no matter what, so everyone will feel the difference instead of playing normal, because sometimes you play hard and you lose. You'll win, but when you get that snowball effect, the other enemies will be like, oh, maybe we need to step it up, and they're going to be a bit stronger. But not every faction around you is just going to magically get stronger. So I feel like that is going to be the big difference between what was then and what's going to be in the future. And then the minor faction potential default off. When checked, minor factions make better campaign decisions, increasing their tendency to survive longer and have bigger impact on the campaigns. Enabling this setting is the equivalent of setup from CI Beta 2. So that's really good. I like that it's default off because it still keeps all the main factions in their having all their territories, and build like the elves and all the legendary lords will be around. But you can turn this on, and it's just you can let it be more of a free-for-all instead of having them stomp them every campaign. This is an update I did not expect to see in 6.2, the 2D porthole update. As we all know, playing this game, they're pretty bad. Most of them are either too zoomed in, look awful, or don't even load well. So as part of 6.2, we've gone through the process of regenerating 1,200 2D ports across the game. That's a very significant number. Most of these were only generated during the initial implementation of the units, and over time the game engines have changed significantly, going through rendering and lighting adjustments, so some were generated in the bloomy metal dark ages, and we were quite shiny indeed. They were also generated in different eras of how we approach the generation process itself, on how much anti-analyzing, what kind of environment lighting do we use. All regular units, not characters, those are a different pipeline, have been regenerated with a new unified look and quality level featuring anti-analyzing, and consistent environments. To show off the original Blood Knight portholes at the top, yeah. So this is the original, in all its glory, and then the new one. So that's crazy. Like he's not even holding his weapon. Even their faces are incredibly different. Like the ears for the horse are about to be gone. This is going to be great. I am very excited to see all the ones that are going to be fixed, And now we have a bunch of bug fixes and highlights. So something I noticed in one of my campaigns till I skimmed through this before doing the video Abilities granted by effects for summoned units such as Summon Skinked Priest, Corral, and Summon Keeper of Secrets are now properly enabled. I was doing a live stream with the Lizardmen campaign, and I kept doing the, defending a settlement, summoning the Skink Priest, and they would have no spells. Like, no spells at all. So I would just have to just send my spellcaster to fight in melee. It was not fun. And they increased the Radai rate. I don't know what that. I think they misspelled this. Ratio of units mounted on steeds of Slaanesh, Seekers of Slaanesh, and all basically. I'm not gonna read all this. Basically, all their fast-moving units that are on horses, to slightly reduce their performance by having fewer of them fight in melee at the same time. Stop the effects of the Grant Snipe from also granting Slayer. I think this would have been fine if they kept this in. I just think it's a wee bit funny that you give a character Snipe and they are also a Slayer. I just think that was a funny bug. I don't think it broke the game too bad. And now for performance, we have Fixed Potential Crash upon opening UI panel for the first time. Fixed Potential Hardlock related to the scripted settlement tour in the prologue campaign. Added a battle camera movement restriction to prevent a potential hardlock during the unit positioning tutorial. Fixed a potential hardlock during the scripted... so this just seems like it's all the prologue. Oh, here we go. Fix a potential softlock that could occur after teleporting the character and declining a quest battle. See, I didn't know that was a thing. I've never declined a quest battle. Fix a potential campaign crash caused by the presence of the Skaven War Machine during a playthrough. That's a weird one. Then we have all the skills, technology, buildings, UI. So there's a bunch here. So we're probably gonna go over most of these. Say we'll probably go over all of them. I don't really know what's in them myself. So we're going to look at gameplay, general. Replace the vampire attrition immunity effects on, again, I'm not going to attempt to say that name. And the Crown of Sorcery as Azog, as he's already benefits from this faction effect. Azog the Slaughterer's trait now correctly grants immunity to psychology in his army. Didn't even know that was not a thing. Adding missing characters to the Tzeentch characters category, so now they're affected by, such as the Arrows of Destiny and the Gift of Chaos. The Chaos Lord of Tzeentch now unlocks the Gate of Tzeentch from the boon Mortal Supremacy instead of the Gate of Khorne. Grom Strait now... I lost for a second, that was my bad chat. Grom Strait now applies the leadership effect only to regular goblins, matching the physical resistance effect. That's sad if it doesn't go to other goblins. Blood Speakers are now affected by Annihilator's armor, and as they also lead armies. Remove Siege Attacker from Demon Slayer Lords if they are not legendary characters and don't have battering ram the size of axes. See, I didn't even know that. Malachite's in camp stance now provides an ambush defense chance. That's pretty good. Karakundrin now starts with the correct treasury amount for its faction. Pet the female and feed the male options are now affect all yin and yang units rather than a small selection. I don't play Cathay. I think this is a very funny thing. Norska can now recruit the Norscan Warhound's Poison unit in campaign rather than being exclusive to custom battles. Again, I don't play Norska. I'm shocked this was even in here. That the fact that Norscan Warhound's Poison weren't even available in campaign. That I think is a wee bit crazy. Indisputable Champion boon for Chaos Lords. For Tzeentch now correctly grants the experience gained to Tzeentch units. So those are pretty good. Pretty good things they're fixing. Skills, Arcane skill Legion of the Death now provides increased leadership at its second level. The skill Bloodthirsty Charge now more accurately describes which units benefit from its effects. Resolve the overlapping skills in, again, I don't know how to say this, chat, the Craze skill tree, or Kerrigan? I don't know. The Craze skill tree. Added the Plague Feeder skill to, again, I think this is Nurgle's Legendary Lord. The Legendary Hero, I mean. The Craze skill tree. Added a resistance effect to Beast Lord's presence to mirror Beast Lord's gaze. Ricard's later ability is now a true upgrade. That's awesome. I love Ricard. Shout out Game of Thrones actor. Very, very fun character. And I think I realized this myself when playing him, that it wasn't really like a big upgrade. I think it was just the exact same. The Demon Prince now affects a Beast of Nurgle with the skill Rancid Menagerie. The Incarnate Elemental of Beast is now affected with the Great Bray Shaman's unique skills, Bellows of Discord and the Hardened Pelts. Now we have technology. We have the Cockatrice are now affected by the gaze of the Dark Gods when playing as any Beastman Lord. And the Empire land ships are now affected by reinforced armor plane technology. That's big. Being able to upgrade these even more without Elsbeth, with like in her campaign, I mean, is really fun. Then we have ancillaries and magic items. Mother of Ostankia's faction, Daughters of the Forest, can now acquire the Priest of Tal and the Priest of Ursun ancillaries. Stop the effect, granting Snipe, also granting Slayer. So sad to see it go. Warlock Engineers now have an arcane item slot. That's crazy that they didn't. Sacred Incense now correctly provides missile resistance to friendly troops within range. Very good, we like that. We like things working like they are intended. Building and settlements. A lot of this is Nurgle, I've noticed. Nurgle outposts now provide garrison units where constructed. Added the Spirit Leech and Soul Blight spells to the Amethyst Wizard that Elsbeth can get from the Amethyst College building. Pig Barter now functions correctly as a minor settlement in the ROC campaign. The Thrones of Chaos landmark building is now available to the Demons of Chaos. That's fun, that's good. Add a settlement effect to, again guys, I'm not going to try, I'm going to butcher it. When occupied by a lizardman as it previously only reduced corruption. UI/UX, the recruitment effects of the exotic animal building chain now correctly indicate where they apply. The Gorefest skills for Torox and Karanak now use the correct icon, that's good. The Shroud of Darkness skill for the Knight Assassins no longer display the Vanguard deployment icon. Environment. Plague-ridden Cultist of Nurgle and the Plague Cultists now use the correct naval model at sea. See, that's the little stuff that no one really notices, but it's big. Now we have the battle, general, and gameplay units. Minotaurs of Khorne and Minotaurs of Khorne great weapons now have the Woodsman and Hide in Forest. Didn't know they didn't have that. Alariel the Radiant now has martial prowess and mounted on a Great Eagle, not considered a monstrous mount. Pretty good. Mornhull has been given the Strider attribute, and his weapon strength has been adjusted to better align with that of Werekin. After all, he is a Werekin. Just not exactly. He has bonus versus infantry instead of bonus versus large. The Mark of Slaanesh has been added to Karis, the Darkling Prince, and the Mark of Tzeentch. Dude, some of these names. Again, Zarif? I don't know. Feathered Prince. We're going to move on. Cultist of Tzeentch on the War Shrine now has the correct health value. Abilities granted by the effects for summon units. Again, we saw that they fixed that. Fix the Celestial General not having fear when mounted on a Logma. The Druzina can now fire while moving when mounted on a Warhorse. That's pretty good. Added skirmish mode to Druzina on a Warhorse so he can fight to run away. The Thunder Tusk and Ample Peak Greybacks can now use both Fear and Terror. Reduced melee attack and melee defense of Seekers and Heart Seekers by Slaanesh by 2. Reduce the armor piercing damage by Seekers Slaanesh by 4 and increase their base weapons by 4. Increase the... I guess this is a real word. I don't know. You guys, again, lore dump me in the comments. I don't know what this means. Ratio of units mounted on the Seeds of Slaanesh. So again, we've been over this. So they did... It looks like they boosted Slaanesh units, but made it to where your entire army is not surrounded by them because your units can't do what they do. The Eshin Maneater now has Orgo Charge attribute. He didn't have that? I didn't even notice. I just did another campaign with them as well. Fixed a bug where single entity units can stop fighting during duels. Thank you, CA. This happens so much. You'll send a lord after another lord and they just stand there. They stand there, chat. Okay, we're going to move on. Grudrakers from the Master of Engineers now match the range of the unit variant. Ishka's Triads now correctly gain the Unspottable attribute when using their ability. A lot of good fixes. We like seeing these. Some of these I didn't even know, and I'm glad they're fixing them. Environment and unit models. Fixed areas along the rivers of the Obsidian Path map where shallow waters are too deep in some spots. Fixed an issue where Pestigores were noticeably taller than their counterparts, aligned with the other gods. The Sisters of Twilight now have defined a primary uniform color. That's crazy that they didn't have a primary uniform color. How long have they been out? That's funny. It must be a Warhammer 3 problem, not a Warhammer 2 problem. Fix some abilities that increase the winds of magic, such as wizardly weapons not displayed in the UI. Goblin Spears now have the green text indicating they're anti-large, as all spear infantry should. Good, I like seeing that. And last up, we have multiplayer. Blue Vipers, Dim Sun, Skulltakers, and Top Knots factions now have a Wa army ability in multiplayer battles. The Stonehorn our Harpoon Launcher now shares the same unit cap as other Stonehorn variants. And this is the end of the dev blog, and we'll read it off still. We'd also like to say another big thank you for everyone who's providing their feedback and suggestions, as well as those who've helped bring many of the improvements detailed above our reporting and your bugs to us. As ever, if you run into any new issues after the update 6.2, please be sure to report them at our dedicated bug reporting subforum. See you on the battlefield, Total War Team. Very, very hyped. A lot of this was desperately needed, and I feel that like there's people I've seen on the Reddit who aren't even playing today because they're solely waiting for tomorrow to come. I think that's how important some of these updates are. And I think the item and the game size and the new units are always nice is big. And even the portholes, like something like doesn't really affect gameplay, but it just makes the game feel a lot better. Especially this is supposed to be a modern game and all of her portholes look like this. Like, come on. But hey, I know, again, all these fixes, I love seeing them because they're things that I didn't catch or notice as someone who plays all the time. Because I don't notice these things. I wouldn't be able to, you know, be in the subforum and report, hey, this and this is wrong. But like I said, like they said, I mean, give them feedback, give them as much as you can, always leave comments on everything. Let your opinion be known. Your opinion matters, which in the big gaming space usually doesn't matter. So yeah, just because something might not get added that you recommend doesn't mean you shouldn't try recommending it. Every time they do, when they do the surveys, I always recommend that all the other DLC factions that they've added that are like, you know, a faction that you have to buy and that comes with base game, that they need DLC themselves because they're very much stuck in when they were released and they were strong, and then because nothing else came their way, they kind of felt like time stuck in 2018. So yeah, a lot of this is big. I'm very, very excited. I will check you guys tomorrow. We're going to be streaming it all day. I would like to do a video covering every new item change. I don't know how committed I am to that yet. I'm going to see the list. I'm going to get into the code, get the nitty gritty. But yeah, I'm super excited. Let me know down below how you guys feel about the updates. Are you happy with the new changes, or are you upset that the update will be so big to download and it will take forever to play it? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate all the support. You guys killing the videos. We're a wee channel, but we're growing. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the future.